This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Monday, May 25th, 2026, in the afternoon. Today, we analyze a significant security flaw in Microsoft Copilot Cowork that allows for unauthorized file exfiltration. We examine Pope Leo XIV's new encyclical, Magnifica Humanitas, regarding the ethics of artificial intelligence. We also track California's decision to exempt Linux from age verification laws, and a major law enforcement operation in the Netherlands that seized 800 servers used for cyber attacks. Finally, we look at Huawei's new Tau scaling law for transistors and a massive solar plus storage project in the United Arab Emirates. A critical security vulnerability has been identified in the Microsoft Copilot Cowork system. Analysts at PromptArmor have demonstrated that the platform is susceptible to indirect prompt injection. This occurs when a model processes data from an external source, such as a shared document or an email that contains hidden instructions. In the case of Copilot Cowork, an attacker can embed malicious prompts in a file that a user invites the assistant to analyze. Once the assistant reads the file, the hidden instructions take control of the session. The system can then be forced to search for sensitive files in the user's environment and transmit that data to an external server controlled by the attacker. Because Copilot Cowork is designed for deep integration across team environments, the blast radius of such an attack is significant. This vulnerability bypasses standard authentication checks because the instructions are executed with the user's own permissions. This incident underscores a persistent challenge in agentic workflows. As we give models more autonomy to interact with our private data, we create new pathways for that data to leave the perimeter. In a document titled Magnifica Humanitas, the Vatican has issued a comprehensive theological and ethical framework for artificial intelligence. Pope Leo XIV warns against the deification of the algorithm, arguing that machine logic must never replace human moral agency. The encyclical is particularly critical of systems that use black box logic to make life-altering decisions in law, health, and finance. The Vatican's stance is not merely philosophical. It advocates for technological sovereignty and the right of individuals to understand why a machine has reached a specific conclusion. The document suggests that as AI systems become more capable, they risk creating a new digital feudalism, where a few corporations hold the keys to societal reasoning. This is a high-level intervention from a 1,000-year-old institution, signaling that the debate over AI is moving beyond technical safety and into the realm of fundamental human rights and dignity. California lawmakers have introduced an amendment to the Digital Age Assurance Act that would exempt Linux distributions and other open-source operating systems from strict age verification requirements. The original law faced intense backlash from the privacy and open-source communities. Critics argued that forcing an operating system to verify a user's age would require the collection of sensitive biometric data or government identification, creating a massive privacy risk at the lowest level of the computing stack. The new amendment recognizes that Linux is a foundational technology, often maintained by decentralized communities rather than a single corporate entity. Forcing these projects to implement age gating would be technically unfeasible and would likely lead to the withdrawal of major distributions from the California market. This reversal represents a rare legislative victory for privacy-first architecture, acknowledging that the gatekeeper model of regulation cannot be applied to open-source software without breaking the tools themselves.
Law enforcement in the Netherlands has executed a major tactical operation, seizing 800 servers and arresting 2 individuals suspected of facilitating global cyber attacks. The infrastructure was part of a bulletproof hosting service that allowed threat actors to operate with relative anonymity. These servers were used to host command and control software for botnets and various phishing campaigns. This operation was the result of a coordinated effort involving multiple international agencies. By taking down the hosting layer, authorities have disrupted the operational capabilities of several prominent hacking groups. However, security analysts note that these takedowns often result in a Hydra effect, where new infrastructure quickly emerges in less regulated jurisdictions. This incident highlights the ongoing cat-and-mouse game between state law enforcement and the decentralized service providers that power the underground cybercrime economy. Under the radar of mainstream tech reporting, Huawei has presented research on what it calls the Tau scaling law. This is a signal from the future regarding the physical limits of computing. As traditional Moore's law scaling becomes increasingly expensive and difficult, Huawei is proposing a new framework for increasing transistor density and system performance. The Tau scaling law focuses on the integration of three-dimensional stacking and specialized materials to bypass the thermal wall that currently limits chip performance. This development suggests that the next leap in computing power will not come from smaller transistors alone, but from radical new ways of arranging and cooling them. If Huawei can successfully implement this at scale, it could shift the balance of power in the global semiconductor race, allowing for high-performance AI chips that are less dependent on the most advanced and often restricted lithography machines. The United Arab Emirates is moving forward with a massive project that combines 5.2 gigawatts of solar power with 19 gigawatt-hours of battery storage. This is designed to provide round-the-clock solar energy, a major milestone for grid stability. The system operates on an optimized 8-hour charging and 16-hour discharging cycle. By pairing massive storage with generation, the project addresses the intermittency problem that has long plagued solar energy. This is a technical blueprint for how petroleum exporting nations are pivoting toward becoming renewable energy hubs. The scale of the storage component is particularly notable, as it represents one of the largest deployments of lithium-ion technology to date, aimed at maintaining a continuous power supply regardless of the time of day. The community chatter today is centered on foundational security and the slop of AI-generated content. A trending tool from the Rossmann Group, titled No AI Slop Writing Rules, is gaining traction on GitHub. It provides a set of instructions for coding assistants to write in a grounded, human-like voice, avoiding the repetitive and vague language common in standard model outputs. In the security world, multiple flaws have been identified in the POO-TTY terminal client, including a double-free vulnerability in the key exchange process and a trust indication issue where the icon could be used to spoof telnet data. Apache Shiro is also under scrutiny for a session fixation vulnerability and for sending sensitive cookies without the secure attribute in certain configurations. Meanwhile, internet access has reportedly been restored in Iran after a 90-day blackout, a move being analyzed by Internet Freedom Projects using technical data from BGP withdrawals and DNS blackholing. Finally, there is growing debate over Yoti, a biometric age verification system. While designed to protect minors, it has drawn criticism for sharing facial photos and device fingerprints with third parties, creating a new surface for biometric data collection. This concludes the synthetic signal report for Monday.